the live televisions for your viewing pleasure. Controls for the brightness, volume, and the jack for your headset are located on your armrest. It will be our pleasure to come to the campus. All headsets for cost of $325, but we do have an upgraded version for $10. I'd like to remind you that WestJet is cashless and we only accept credit cards.
Some light.
In a few moments, it will be our pleasure to come to the cabin to offer you our buying board selection. If you look at the menu in the seat pocket in front of you, will show you a variety of the snacks and sandwiches that we do have for purchase. After that, we'll be coming through with your complimentary beverage service, your choice of coffee, tea, fruit juice, or pop. We do have a bar available on board the aircraft. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, cabins, turn the seatbelt sign on for your continued safety and the safety of those around you. Mr. Museum, you still feel the passenger refrain from the cabin and using the washrooms at this time. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to final descent to the Vancouver area. Kindly fasten your seatbelts or return your seat backs and table trays to their full upright locked position. Any and all carry-on baggage that you had a chance to go during the flight today are sent to the back of the seats in front of you. The flight attendants will be going to the cabin one last time to collect any unwanted service items. As a courtesy to the next guest, you have to look at the seat pockets in front of you and underneath the seats. If there's been any garbage accumulated, we've had to for this time. This whole will be accepting newspapers for recycling. You may wear earbud-type earphones as long as they're plugged into the satellite television and into no electronic device at this time. Thank you very much and welcome to Vancouver. ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Vancouver, where the local time is approximately 5:45. Ladies and gentlemen, the possibility of a quick turn or a sudden stop, we do ask and require that you do remain seated and have your seatbelt securely fastened until the aircraft has departed the gate, and the seatbelt sign has been switched off, indicating then and only then it is safe for you to stand. Upon standing, please do take caution when opening the overhead bins, as some of your items may have shifted during flight. Would like to remind you that smoking is only permitted once you are well outside the terminal in a designated smoking area only, please. You may now use your cell phone, providing it is on your person. You do not have to retrieve your carry-on items. On behalf of WestJet Special Room Flight crew tonight, we'd like to thank you for flying with us. If Vancouver is home, lucky you, welcome home. If not, have a pleasant stay in the area, or wherever your final destination may be. Once again, from our family to yours, have a wonderful and safe evening, and we'll see you again real soon.
Nous vous remercions d'avoir voyagé avec nous aujourd'hui. Veuillez garder votre ceinture attachée et vos bagages à main bien rangés, car il est possible que l'appareil fasse...
Well, I'm now in Vancouver at my hotel room, and I guess I'll give you a little bit of a tour here. Oh, I don't like looking at myself. Okay, never mind viewing me. Because I need a shower and I need to freshen up. So, anyways, this is the hotel room. Very nice view. I'll show you the view from the balcony in a few minutes. You know, it has a desk, it has a TV in this room, and a couch that does pull out into another bed, a double bed, a little kitchenette suite, and look at this, full-size refrigerator. I didn't have to bring my cooler and stuff it full of ice to make a homemade cooler. Microwave, lots and lots of cover space, full sink, look at that. I don't know if you can see it from here, but dishwasher. The drawers and cupboards are fully stocked with utensils, cookware, dishware, flatware, you name it. It's got everything in here. So I can go out shopping. I don't have to spend a lot of money on restaurant food. I can bring food in and cook it myself, etc., etc. And if I run out of clothes, which I'm sure I won't because I overpacked like crazy, there is a washer dryer combination. I'll have to figure out how that works if I need to do laundry, which I'll probably do. Okay, so anyways, that's the door, and this is the bathroom with all my toiletries and all my junk already spread all over the place, the shower. But yes, quite a nice place. This is the bedroom. Nice double bed, lots of closet space. All my clothes, too many clothes for the amount of time I'm going to be here. Nice big TV, air conditioner, and the lovely view, which actually I'm going to go out on the balcony and show you the view, so I'll pause it and go on the balcony. Okay, now I'm on the balcony. Well, you know what? This camera might not show me the best angles might not show me the best night view for downtown Vancouver, but when I have my other camera set up, I will show you some different views, different angles. Right now we are looking down on Davie Street. It's the name of the street that the hotel's on in Davie Village. Right across the street is the Shoppers Drug Mart. To the left, which you can't see from here, there is a grocery store, which I will go pick up some groceries and bring them back to the room to do some cooking, you know, when I do get hungry, so I don't have to spend a lot of money having restaurant food, which gets very costly when you go on trips. So anyways, enough on that. I'm gonna upload this now, and I'll continue with more video and still pictures as my trip progresses. So thank you for sharing this with me. This is just a morning view. It's about, oh, I don't know, 8 o'clock on Saturday morning in Vancouver, British Columbia. This is just a view from my balcony. Shoppers Drug Mart down there. Nice skyline view. Right now I'm just looking down on Davie Street, which is the street that the hotel I'm staying at is on. And yes, the hotel has balconies, which is a real plus, which is really nice. So yeah, so today's my first full day in Vancouver. Looking forward to seeing everything that Vancouver has to offer. Well, I'm sure I won't be able to get it all done in the short little week that I'm here. But I'll take in as much as I can on a budget. Anyways, that's the view from the balcony. Anyways, one more little scan of the skyline from my room anyway. There's still so much skyline to see. That's that for now. Is that a cop?
그 남자 아니야? 응? 그 남자잖아. 여기 있을게. 정원. 여기 갔다 저로 가. 엄마한테.
Jsem kdyby na západ slunce a pak jsem kdyby našel do úplně sněhu, že jo.
이쪽으로 오면 너의 옷을 찍을게.
Oh yeah, thanks. Yeah.
dressed city in the world. So we're working for number one though. I've seen a few new outfits lately that have been will move us up the charts. Don't let that red light hurt you there. Cross the streets. If you've been in the city for any length of time, you'll notice we're a very multicultural town. Just look at the restaurants. Just passing by Malaysian, Indonesian, and Italian restaurants. 70 nationalities that live in this city. And this has been a very multicultural part of Canada since our earliest days. This is the blue horizon. And we have some folks here to pick up. So now it's down Robson a few blocks and onto the waterfront where the West End Bayshore Hotel is. That is next to Stanley Park. And we'll start our Stanley Park tour. Jose Cordero was the Spanish map maker. He was also an illustrator. He did illustrations of the First Nations people. The very first illustrations that were ever shown in Europe of what the peoples along this coast looked like. Now, coupon books, and I hope you folks have all got these, and for you folks who just got on, you won't have them yet. But you have discounts for restaurants, and one of them here is the White Spot restaurant on your left. That's the oldest, largest chain of restaurants in Western Canada. Vancouver's headquarters for them. They've been in business for 83 years, opened in 1928. Now, they have two other locations downtown, but breakfast, lunch, and dinner, White Spot. Just across the street here is the Bayshore. Okay, West End Bayshore coming up. All right, this is the Bayshore stop. Do we have anybody for stop 10? Opened in 1888. We'll be in the park in a moment. Now, an area it covers over 1,000 acres. Now, metric measurements, that is 404 hectares. We're going to see a blend of old growth forest and some second growth being the trees that grew where the original trees have been, as the lumber industry likes to say, harvested. And we chopped them down and made them into toilet paper, and now we call this harvesting. is in the center of the park. That's stop 11. A couple of minutes yet. Now, if you look off in the distance on your left there, you're going to see a fountain. That is in Lost Lagoon. The largest blue heron rookery in British Columbia just happens to be around Lost Lagoon. There's over 200 nests around the lagoon. You see white trumpeter swans there? They came from New South Wales in 1903. So there are these swans here in Lost Lagoon are all descendants from the first 4 swans that were given to us as a gift. The lagoon was saltwater originally. There was a bridge into Stanley Park when it first opened, and we are past where the bridge used to be. The saltwater channel was down below us. It was saltwater before, but it's freshwater today. This is Lost Lagoon. Now there are 4 bald eagles nests in this park too, so that's very common to see bald eagles. We might be seeing a little bit of a movie set today. This is what this is, these pink signs here, parking for the crew. They usually use acronyms for the film, PBEC, and in the 2 films actually, Circus going on up here. Now Robert Redford's in town, and he's doing a film here. But that is not neither one of these 2 films. This film is called The Company You Keep. Off to your right. Now the roses are just coming off the bloom. We're into almost mid-October now. The gardens on your left, though, these are named in honor of William Shakespeare. These are parts of the park that were logged in the 1860s, long before what would become the city was founded. This is the Rose Garden stop. Anybody wanting to get off at the Rose Garden? Okay. I'll explain this facility here, which is just, they're getting ready to bring this to a close for the season. It's an outdoor concert facility called the Malcolm Bowl. There may be 1 or 2 shows left on the weekends, but summer months, evening and theater productions. So it looks like they're getting her ready to take down for this season. Stanley Park Dining Pavilion, Lord Stanley's Pub on the right side. And this building is modeled after a Swiss chalet. It is a heritage building, 1911. Oh yes, Prospect Point, ma'am.
Yeah.
Prospect Point, or the tea house, or the fish house.
Okay.
And we'll explain as we get a little bit closer to those.
Yep.
Now, if you have a look at these trees right here, Douglas firs, that's what they're called. Coarse, overlayered bark, Douglas firs. Now, they are somewhat similar to the redwoods in Northern California, although the redwoods have a bark that is almost a deep walnut color. So these are a little bit lighter, but they're very similar. If you've been to Northern California. We have broadleaf maple trees. These trees here, broadleafs on this side. Now, in the eastern part of North America, in the northeast that is, you have sugar maples. That's where you get sugar sap and make maple syrup from. These trees do not produce the same type of sap. They are in the maple leaf species. Now, have a look at this tree right here. You see the reddish hue in that bark? Western red cedar. Notice this tree stands straight and true. Western red cedar does not warp. It stands pretty much the way you see it here. This is a young tree. And when we get to the totem poles, you'll already know what they're carved from. Red cedar. That's primarily what is used for an outdoor pool. And if you took a good look at that, and in the 18th century, what else might that be good for? If you were a seafaring man or belonged to a particular ship that needed a new mast, red cedar, ideal wood for it. Now, I've been told there still are some trees in Stanley Park. I have not seen them personally. I haven't found them, but a friend of mine who used to be a Cub Scout guide, and this is going back quite a few years, he told me some trees in this park still have the markings from the Royal Navy, and the Royal Navy selected certain trees that they would be held in reserve in the event they require ship's masts. And they first started surveying around this area and setting up shop around the 1850s. So, but again, I haven't found one of these trees myself yet, but I'm told there's about 4 or 5 in one area. But as we pass underneath the bridge, have a look to your right. This is the oldest athletic club in our city. This is the Vancouver Rowing Club. They were founded the same year as the city, 1886. Now stop 12 is the aquarium. That will be coming up in a moment. That looks like where probably the film crew is set up, or at least the crew parking. Now you won't see the facility from here. It is surrounded by forest, but it's just a short walk. It's the largest aquarium in the country. Just up this way, that Avison Way is the Yellow Brick Road, and this is the aquarium. Now you have discounts for the souvenir shop and for a 2-for-1 beverage coupon in that coupon booklet. And we'll let you folks go 5.5 miles. There are 40 kilometers, 24 miles, that is, of walking trails too, throughout the park. Next stop, number 13, is the totem poles. This is the Royal Vancouver Yacht Club. We have a very small military base here, naval base that is. That'll come into view. It's called HMCS Discovery. Right over there in the brown brick building. That's not open to the public, however. Discovery was the name of George Vancouver's vessel, and his second ship was called Chatham. The designation HMCS, Her Majesty's Canadian Ship. So, believe it or not, that is a registered ship. Red cedar again, here's a good example, right there. And we also mentioned earlier, totem poles are carved from red cedar. This is totem pole stop, number 13, coming up. There we go, anybody for the totem pole stop? Now, I'll give you a little bit of. They are only found along a narrow coastal. Harry Jerome, here he is, British Columbia's athlete of the 20th century. 1960s, he held the world record for the 100-meter, 110-yard dash 7 times. He set that record. Now here, in this building, at 9 p.m. tonight, you're going to hear a cannon fire. That is the 9 o'clock gun, an old Royal Navy cannon. The Navy at one time were in charge of the harbor in 1898 when it was installed here. The firing of the gun in their era was the closure of the port. But the port today is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So it's ceremonial and still fired at 9 p.m. This body of water now, this is called the Burrard Inlet. We're on Burrard Street a little bit later, but George Vancouver gave it this name. Harry Burrard was a British admiral. Way down the inlet, you'll see the outline of a bridge there. That's the Ironworkers Memorial Bridge. That's the largest crossing, 6 lanes. These towns on the other side, they're both called North Vancouver. One is district, the other is city, however. And as we swing around, you'll see the Lionsgate Bridge. Lionsgate Bridge is the oldest crossing. We're going to tell you all about that bridge. We're going to be right next to that, or Stop 14 Prospect Point. If you notice the yellow pyramids on the other side, sulfur. That is a byproduct natural gas processing industry. Most of that is exported to the eastern half of the globe, and it is a binding agent for fertilizers, so quite valuable product these days. This is also Canada's largest seaport. Now this is a third of the actual size of the port that you're seeing. We have loading terminals south of the city. There's a huge loading facility called Delta Port, and the Fraser River also has loading docks, but collectively it is all encompassed under Port Vancouver. Now, they were over, the film crews that is, were over here at the Brockton Oval. This is the Brockton Oval. These fields are used for the game of cricket. Now, I remembered the logging I mentioned a little bit earlier. This is where the brief period of time the lumber mill was in this area. Said we saw 2 different film setups here, but I don't know which one this is. Now, to measure the tide when you're wandering around this part of Stanley Park, all you have to do, look at that boulder. The sculpture is called The Girl in the Wetsuit. Her left hand on that rock where that hand rests, that hand is underwater. That marks the high tide mark. And our tide changes 16 feet, 5.3 meters every 6 hours. We're not at high tide yet. Just coming into a little clearing here. This is the Lumberman's Arch. This is dedicated to the logging industry. Go further north though. Not in this specific area. We're going to make our climb up to Prospect Point. This tree on the corner here, this is over 800 years old. This is a red cedar. Now, you're going to notice as we come by, for those of you who can see that, it's not a very tall tree. It's been struck by lightning, they believe, over 30, maybe more times, over 8 centuries. That does inhibit the growth of a tree, obviously, but a tree that age very often will be well over 200 feet, or 61 meters. Tallest tree in Stanley Park, 250 feet, 76 meters Douglas fir. It's in the center of the park, but we won't be seeing that particular tree for this tour. Slow down here, but I can't come to a complete stop. But if anybody wants to jump off at Prospect Point, just around the bend here, that will give you a good view of the bridge. And we have some folks that were looking for a good restaurant. They do have one here. Restaurant right over here, and the viewpoint we're just going to pull into this spot. Right here. For the Bureau of keeping weather records in this area. But all along this ridge, massive amounts of damage. Across the water there, you see another city. That's West Vancouver. Pretty much here. This is pretty much where the eye of the storm passed right through. I'll tell you, it looked quite a bit different than it does today. It really shocked a lot of people, the severity of the storm. But right off the worst part of the storm, more people wanted to know about a tree that's been dead, and it's been dead for centuries. It's an icon in Stanley Park. It's called the Hollow Tree. We're going to take you in and show you the Hollow Tree. It's going to come up in view just around the next bend here. They can pull into their little parking area. I don't think anybody is in there at the moment. Oh, there's a couple of folks, but that's great. This tree dead for several centuries, but what happens with red cedars, not all of them, but it's a natural occurrence that as they age and decay, they hollow out from the inside. This tree is an icon because for just like these people, for generations, people have stood inside and had their photographs taken. Now this bracing you see on it today, that was only put on the tree about a year and a half after the storm. The tree stood on its own for centuries, and the bracing they feel will keep it around for at least. Hello there. How are you? Very good. Come on aboard, grab a seat. Excellent. We'd be looking straight out across the water. We'd be seeing Vancouver Island over here, but not today. They actually eat and can catch fish. Other crows do not. But they do like cheesies too, so this is now going to be, this is English Bay still. And we do have a stop, number 17, just around the bend, passing by Sylvia Hotel. Sylvia Hotel here. That was Vancouver's first cocktail lounge, Sylvia. And English Bay. Anybody for the English Bay stop? Anybody curious about these guys on your left?
Yes.
Okay. Now, last September, a year ago, we told the guy that the Vancouver Canucks were going to win the Stanley Cup. And he cracked right up. They're called the tour books call them Amazing Laughter. Most people refer to them as the Laughing Men. From our comedy festival a few years ago, one gentleman from Beijing, he used his own face, 10 different contortions. As a tour guide, we're really getting tired of these guys. Lots more goes on in English Bay that we don't see. The marine life here, on occasion, we do have whales come in here. Not regularly, but we've had whales in here the last few summers. Even about a year ago, we had orcas come in here. Orcas don't normally come into the area. They don't like boat engines and noisy propellers, but we had about six orcas come in, and they were here for a few days. So our next stop is going to be an opportunity for folks if you want to take a little boat tour. Falls Creek Ferry. One of the ways to get to Granville Island is by water. Want to exercise that option, you have that ticket, it's in your coupon book. Little ways to go yet. This is Falls Creek. This is the channel right here. Now the name goes back to the British survey. They thought this was the entrance to a river. They found it simply came from a dead end of salt water, and they wrote it down as Falls Creek. Speaking of the ferry, there goes one of them right now. Now he's going to motor over to the dock at that A-frame building. That's the Maritime Museum. That's stop number 20. That white dome building, that's the Museum of Vancouver, stop 19. But he'll take a tour of the waterfronts, then he's going to go down. We're going to change lanes again one more time since this truck can get out of our way. And we're going to go down Beach Avenue. This is where the dock is, a little further down the road. Now, if anybody wants to take the ferry again, you need that ticket. I'll explain how you get picked up. But we do drive to the market as well, just so you're aware of it. You have an option here. Just a minute, yeah, now. See the dock right down there? If you look below, you're going to see, unfortunately, Starbucks.
Okay.
You go to the Starbucks side, you go down half a block, there's a delicatessen called Island Market, but it's got a Vancouver trolley sign there, and the this will bring us up to the bridge. And again, stop 19, Museum of Vancouver. Anyway, over Granville Island. Maritime Museum. Now, I'm going to show that totem. See the totem pole over there? There's a totem pole right in front of the Maritime Museum. Do you notice what's sitting on the very top? See that right there? That's a bald eagle. This is one of their little perches here where they like to scout out and see things going. Now we're going to be coming through the Maritime Museum parking area, so we'll get another look at that. Nest. The nest is not far from here, actually. I know where the nest is. Now, 18th century Spanish.
A little further.
A little further?
Oh, I can see.
There we go.
Okay.
Yes.
Is that good?
Yeah.
Another 6 feet in the bed.
All right. Get your pictures.
Where did it go?
To shoot the eagle. Eagle.
Get it? Black dot of the
Okay, we all good?
shape. Where do I find the shape again? Here it is.
Yep.
All right, we gotta get going then.
Thank you.
Around about 10.5 million people a year. Stanley Park, just over 11 million. Canadian military regiment, the Seaforth Highlanders, right here. This building is modeled after a Scottish fortress. There is a unit in the British Army under the same name. There's Seaforth Regiment. We're just going to maneuver into the lift lane here. Past higher end cars. Jaguar, Bentley, Land Rover, Lexus, Aston Martin. Maserati, Ferrari, and the glass building. A few others down the road here. Original manufacturers from that era, they're still there. Now this is our stop coming up. Now to get to the markets, you're going to go around the bend past Starbucks. You're going to see some traffic lights, pedestrian crossing. Now, if you notice the First Nations artwork here, and there's another mural over here. Like all cities, we have graffiti artists, and we were having some problems with foul language here, but when the First Nations artists came and put their murals up, none of them have ever been touched since. All right. Now, one thing I want to point out, at 3 o'clock, it's 3 o'clock, just after 3 right now. This is when the last full tour of the day leaves Canada Place Stop 1, so that vehicle will be on the road right now. Now we have another vehicle 45 minutes behind us, and then the last tour of the day will be coming. So just so bear in mind, winter schedule, if you're getting off anywhere, look at that number on your stop, and your last pickups of the day will be coming up. This happens to be my last full tour. So when I get to Canada Place, I'm finished for the day. Just so you're aware of that. Canada Place is the last stop on this tour. You do have options to get off and see some things yet. But just so you're aware of these things. Now this body of water down here is still Falls Creek. We'll show you where that ends a little bit later. You wouldn't know what to look at it in the first place, but if you look at this building on the right, it's under some renovation and hopefully a major makeover. But the Yale Hotel, this is the oldest existing building downtown. Now, when it opened in 1884, it wasn't a blues nightclub. It was the bunkhouse, living quarters for the railwaymen who had just come into the city. We had a major fire in 1886. That was why it wiped out the original buildings in the city. But Yale was not in that part of the town that was burnt down, so it's the oldest existing building downtown. Era, and not by name, with the New Haven, with the University of New Haven, Connecticut University, Yale University that is. There is a town in British Columbia by the same name. When the railway was coming through the mountain passes, Yale was the easiest place to ship all the raw materials for the railway. The steel, the gravel, railway ties, work crews, etc. would all disembark at Yale, and when they were finished with that particular phase of the railway, those men, about 2,000 of them, moved here to the city and they started building. They just named the area that they were in after the last town they had come from, Yaletown. That's where the name comes from. Crowd living down here these days from the railway era. We'll be going 2 more blocks. Now, Yaletown, Roundhouse are the same stop, but we need to go 2 more blocks to get to the Roundhouse. The repair shop or maintenance sheds, this is the Roundhouse Community Center today, a heritage site. When we come over Pacific, which we're going to do right now, Pacific Boulevard, have a look at the front window here. It's an old steam locomotive, engine 374, and that was the very first train that came in when the railway was completed. Now, for 58 years after that, this train was in service. 58 years was the life on that engine. Now this platform, technically the railwaymen call it a Wyatt, the swing table. We've just had a heritage grant, but I wish they'd get the trailers out of here and finish the job off. But the is part of a community center, and we stop on the other side of the street here for the Yaletown stop. Street Bridge. 3 buildings on the other side of that bridge, though. The Olympic Village. Condominiums today, but that was the Olympic Village. You'll get another look at this from a different angle later on this, before we make it to the library, but we'll give you a look at that. Now, do we have anybody getting off at Roundhouse? Coming up is the Roundhouse stop. Going once, going twice. No one waiting on us, so let's go. Stop 23 is the Edgewater Casino. It's the only casino that we have downtown. We're going to show you some sports stadiums. One of them was used, well, both of them were used during the Olympic Games. BC Place Stadium is where the opening and closing ceremonies for anybody who wants to do a little gambling. The casino in your coupon booklet has a $5 slot machine certificate. To validate that, you must spend $5, so it's a 50-50 deal. Again, there's 250 slot machines, poker tables, etc. It's the only casino in the downtown. We're still following the old pathway for the railway. This is why the roads curve and bend off. The trains actually used to move underground downtown to this area. We'll show you where that occurred. BC Place Stadium. Now, football, Canadian Football League, BC Lions, that's their team. The Vancouver Whitecaps, North American Soccer League. This is also the facility they play in. It seats 55,000. It was Canada's first dome stadium, opened in 1983. The old roof was an air-supported roof, very similar if you're familiar with the Metrodome in Minneapolis. The Minnesota Vikings play football, similar roof, all changed over now. That's the casino there. Stop 23 will be coming up. Another glimpse of the Olympic Village there. Anybody wanting the casino? There we go. Now, this stadium seats 18,600. It is the home of the Vancouver Canucks National Hockey League. I'm sure you're aware, some of you may not all be aware, but we did not win the Stanley Cup this year. We had a nice proper riot after that. Science World is that building over there. That's where Falls Creek ends. Falls Creek ends right where Science World is. There's our SkyTrain. Now we'll show you where the SkyTrain becomes a subway. It's just around the corner. Around the stadium we'll go. Now, the building, the naming rights for the building are Rogers Telecommunications, communications company in Canada. You may have heard of the Rogers Centre in Toronto. That's where the Toronto Blue Jays play baseball and the Toronto Organized Football Club. That was originally called the Sky Dome. That was the first retractable roof stadium in the world, Sky Dome, in 1989 when it opened. And here comes our SkyTrain. When it goes into Stadium Station here, that's when it becomes subway. These tunnels existed prior to the transit moving in. They were railway tunnels. Trains used to move underground. So stop 24 will be the library. Now these stadiums are both used for concerts as well, now that BC Place is open. You know, in theory, because the stadium was closed until a few months, until the end of September, in theory, when we were in the Stanley Cup playoffs, if the stadium had been available, they probably would have put a fan zone in the stadium. We probably would have been able to, in the event any eruption of violence, etc., they all would have been contained into a small area. But that being said, that's 2020. There was a riot planned, win or lose. There was a good element of thugs that were planning something regardless. National news, but as the story of this young man coming across the country on the Trans-Canada Highway, the story got bigger and bigger. Now, since his death in 1981, $500 million, as I mentioned, has been raised for cancer research. In Canada's history, no other civilian has ever had the flag lowered to half-mast right across the country. Terry Fox is the only civilian to ever have that honor, and he passed away. He was the youngest award winner of the Order of Canada at the age of 21. He's one of our local heroes. His family still live in this area. Unfortunately, his mother, Betty Fox, she just passed away early last spring, but again, the Terry Fox Foundation runs out in 60 countries worldwide and has raised $500 million for cancer research. One thing I'll point out, in the 145 days that he did proceed with that run. He ran the equivalent of a marathon every day. You may have noticed Canada's not a flat country either, and he did it on one leg. Library, over here on your right. This is going to be our next stop. But the coat of arms on the building is the Canada's Royal Coat of Arms. There you go. Now, CBC, Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. This is the British Columbia headquarters here. This is our national radio and television network. Now, they broadcast Canada's 2 official languages. They're not the only, obviously, television network in the country. We have CTV, quite a few other television networks, but these are the national broadcasters. That's the Queen Elizabeth Theatre here. This is the concert hall. Just coming up here on our right will be the Sandman Hotel stop. Well, we were thinking of buying it too. Well, these things work. So we're going to go down Chinatown, as I mentioned, just around the bend here, down Beatty Street. Second largest Chinatown in North America coming up. Little tight quarters for a moment. Every day we get a new obstacle here. There we go. Thank you, miss. We'll get by that one. We're all good. Passing by an armored reserve regiment. This is the Duke of Connaught. This is their drill hall. And there again, SkyTrade Station, Stadium Station. Now, Dr. Sun Yat-sen Gardens is where we're going to be coming to a stop in a couple of minutes. These gardens are Ming Dynasty era. Outside of China, there are no other gardens like this anywhere else in the world. They were opened in 1986, the year that we were the host of the World's Fair Expo. But Dr. Sun Yat-sen was a frequent visitor to our town in the early part of the 20th century. For quite a few years, he was a political exile from his native country, but when he returned to China in 1911, the following year, 1912, he became that country's one and only democratically elected president. So he's an important figure politically and historically in China. This is who the gardens were named after. Millennium Arch coming up. That's the entranceway to Chinatown. If you want to see a little bit of an oddity, if you have a look over here, I think Jack Chow needs to get a few letters replaced in his sign here. Jack Chow Insurance Company, the narrowest commercial building in the world. Guinness Book of World Records. Interior of the building, 4 feet 11 inches, 1.3 meters. That is the width of that building. As we come around the bend, this is our Chinatown stop. Do we have anybody for Chinatown? The gardens are here. These are the walls around the gardens. We're going to have a quick look around to make sure that nobody is being left behind. Okay, Chinatown. We have a few more blocks to go, and then it's going to be on to the police museum. On the 3rd floor. But all of the cuisine you get here throughout British Columbia is old world. There is a North American variety of Chinese food, which is not considered authentic, but everything here is old world cuisine. although there's still some very interesting buildings in this area. And there are still some old buildings from the Japantown era. Carnegie Center here and Carnegie Public Library, one of the interesting buildings in this area. And we just decided in this area of the Vancouver Police Department. This is the main headquarters right here. So the police museum on the other side of this building. We should have access to that tomorrow. Now, according to the city, they give us notification where the first settlement began here. It was never officially registered as Gastown. Locals used to call it Gassiestown. And it was Gassiestown because of the first citizen, the saloon keeper, John Dayton, whose nickname happened to be Gassie Jack. Now, in his era, a Gassie person was a talkative person, not per se, you might have been a smelly guy too, but that's a different story. These buildings are not from his period though. These are late 1886 to 1914. The original town was destroyed by fire just 2 months after it was renamed from Granville, that was the first town name, to Vancouver. So this is the period where these buildings begin. But we're going to see John Dayton. He didn't see Vancouver Incorporated. He died in 1874. Look at the nerve of this guy walking around our town with a Boston Bruins jersey on. What's the matter with him? Anyway, back to our tour. Gassie Jack. Now, he was an interesting man. He was originally from Yorkshire in England, and he was a former merchant sailor. He'd been a prospector, and he was a variety. He was a jack of all trades. He did quite a few things in his life. We have a stop coming up here, which is by the old spaghetti factory. This is the old spaghetti factory. We're just going to go beyond here to our stop. Anybody wants stop number 28 here in Gastown? Okay?
Thank you very much. That was very interesting.
Well, I'm glad you just up in the distance here, we're going to come to our second stop. All these buses are parked here all day long, but they're supposed to be here for 3 minutes. Now this is stop 29. We have some folks here. Hello folks, how are you?
Hello.
Just wandering about in the soggy.
It's too wet to walk.
Oh, it's a little soggy out there, isn't it? Hey, very good. We're gonna go up and show you the steam clock here. Let's just check our timing here.
Da gibt's den Fahrer in seinem, oder hat er sowas? Ich glaube, der hat da unten.
Oh, thank you, sir. I'll get that down here, though. That'll end up with the cleaner.
Good lying here on the bench.
Yep, we're tracking on our time. Now, I'll point out a couple things. Steam clock's not ancient history. In 1977, now the man who's responsible for it, who built the clock, and he still claims it was the first in the world. And it's got some unique features. The whistles on top are actually. The clock has 1,600 moving parts, weighs over 2 metric tons, about 4,400 pounds. But I also found out, because I like to research these things, and I found out that in Birmingham, England, there is a tavern called the Steam Clock Tavern, and it's been there since 1859. And apparently, their steam clock still is in working order. The original owner of that tavern name was John Inshaw. He was a local inventor, and he liked to display all the little things that he used to make. And steam clock was the first thing he built. So that's the second steam clock. Okay, we'll give it that. As we come around the bend here, we're going to come to stop 30, last stop on the tour before Canada Place. This is Waterfront Station. The Lookout Tower, the second tallest building in Vancouver, on this building here. That is part of our attraction on this stop. Tower today may not be the best option for a good view, but we're going to come up here to Waterfront Station here. This is an old railway station. It's used by the transit now. So just around the bend here, Canada Place. The Alaska cruise season is done for the year. September 26th was the last day ships sailed. Part of the facility here is cruise ship terminal, the Pan Pacific Hotel, the first convention center, and then over here we have the new convention center. This is Canada Place, our last stop. Anybody for Canada Place? Watch your step there now. Okay, folks, this is where my portion of the tour is done for the day. Now, there were some folks who got on in Stanley Park, and I gave you bad information there. I will bring you back to your spot because that was. But where are you other folks? Because, hi, ma'am. This is all done for the day, ma'am. This is my last stop. But where are you off to?
4 or 5 brand new condo towers all around us here. This space and a quickly exchanging here. So Lindsay, I'm going to drop you off right here in the corner here. That way we don't get the people confused over at Canada Place. You still got 15, was it 15 minutes to get back there?
Yeah. And how many periods? Are you sure?
3-bedroom is probably a penthouse for $2,000 a month. In fact, a typical, oh, even cheap more than that actually, is a typical 1-bedroom here in downtown. 1-bedroom here in downtown. Gonna cost you like $1,500 a month now. And you got so out of reach now for the family here, or people living downtown here. Again, all this is all brand new right here, left here. This opened up last year here. The other ones here, up to the right, are about 5 years old. I agree. My kids are gone. That's good. Western Bay Shore Hotel here. Next pickup. Then we head into Stanley Park. Western Bay Shore Hotel. Little red men from ours on the right-hand side. Follow the seawall here on the right, and the seawall will take you right into Stanley Park. Behind us, the seawall will take you right back to Canada Place. There, a 15-minute walk straight behind us here takes you back to stop number 1 at Canada Place.
That's all right.
Alright, fabulous. But you're obviously looking at your body, it looks like you're on the outside, okay? One thing to know what's going on outside of the body, it's a completely other thing to know what's going on the inside of the body. So now, have you boys and girls ever been to the doctor before? Sometimes
Hey, look at this stuff.
inside your body. How would they know what's going on inside?
Oh, yeah.
Can you do that? Stick your hand in your mouth?
Watch the seagull, Indy. He's out. Yeah, he's out.
You can see all the dark lines, those are the veins, and that's why we usually sometimes take blood samples from her, but not for this.
Closer look at that coloration here on Spinnaker as he comes up out of the water. So yes, that is Spinnaker, our handsome and only
dolphin male here in our habitat. He's in his early to mid-20s or so, and he is joined in the habitat, though here he is again. He is joined here in the habitat by a couple of our ladies, Helen and Hannah. They're on the far side of the dock right now. Helen is in the center and Hannah is furthest from myself. Helen is probably close to the same age as Spinnaker. She's in her early to mid-20s. And Hannah is our youngest dolphin. She's in her mid-teens. But I did mention that these dolphins are probably a bit different than most dolphins. You might be like off of our coast as well. But as I mentioned, we are seeing a training session this morning. And clearly, particularly with Spinnaker, we're seeing quite a few more of those higher energy kinds of behaviors that, well, dolphins are so well known for. And I will tell you straight off the bat, admittedly, we don't know a lot about these Pacific white-sided dolphins, even though they can be found right here off of our coast. But what we do know is that they're high energy species. So we certainly want to replicate that through our training. And we're very clearly seeing that with Spinnaker this morning. In fact, we're seeing Spinnaker in the process of being trained a new behavior. That's part of the reason why you saw Paula with that great big Q-tip looking thing. That's a target pull. That's another way for her, in addition to, you might have noticed our trainers throwing some ice cubes. Those two different tools are ways to help show our dolphins what we'd like to see from them and where we'd like them to go. And sometimes it's just step-by-step process, and we like to be very clear of what our expectations are and what we're looking for. And tools like those target pulls and throwing those ice balls can really help sort of show our dolphins what we'd like to see. And in the case of training these high-energy behaviors, again, as I mentioned, it helps ensure that we're replicating what we see of these dolphins off of our coast. Of course, some of the other behaviors we might see, maybe it's opening their mouths like we saw from Spinnaker and Helen on the other side of the dock. These sorts of smaller behaviors have the benefit of helping ensure that our dolphins' minds stay active. After all, they are very intelligent, and we like to make sure they're being challenged on a very continuous basis. Pull and ice to show our dolphins where we'd like them to go and what we'd like them to do. Our trainers are also using a whistle. Now, that whistle is another form of communication in addition to that target pull and their hands. Because, of course, the whole issue about training a dolphin is that we can't communicate to them the way I'm communicating with you right now. Because, well, we don't know any dolphins that speak people or any people that speak dolphins. To help better protect their species off of our coast, and that research could only be possible from all of you. So thank you very much for that. And if you'd like to learn more about that research, I invite you to come right back here along these railings at 1 o'clock for our first dolphin show of the day. On behalf of myself, our trainers, and our dolphins, thanks again so much for coming.
Oh, well, I guess she's set in her ways. That sounds exciting. Oh yeah, Dolly World. So where is this, like, Amish country? And this Yeah, yeah, it's just, yeah, the only thing is, oh, as vain and shallow, my butt. Love sharks. Oh, okay. You lived in Texas? I don't remember you saying you lived in. I don't remember you saying you lived in Texas. I know you. God, where's my mind going? When was this anyway? Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Your family too, like your parents, or? Yeah. No. Well, I mean, I had the occasional text message with. Very lucky. Oh, is he? Yeah, there's 2 new babies at the zoo. They're like wild cats. Some type of wild cat, but I just...
I spent a lot of time on the water.
Yeah, it's actually a baby. It's going
to start to shed again. And we've had the male for quite a while. Our other female we had.
One restaurant visit, and that was just to a hamburger place, just down the street. Apparently it's this popular place. Oh yeah, and he said he won too. Yeah. Oh, I'm sure. Oh, really? Yeah, me too. But you know, it's like yeah. Oh, maybe she's just trying to be. Right. Well, Jenny Craig. Okay. Oh, so your dad has to deal with that? Oh, wait.
Here for us because she's not only fairly old for a beluga, she's also a mom. If you take a look to your left, you'll see Kristen. Today, Kristen is working with Keela. Keela is 16 years old and she is Aurora's daughter, born right here at the Vancouver Aquarium in 1995. Now, our mother-daughter team is quite spectacular, but not to be outdone in the very center with Indy, we have Kavna. Now, Kavna is the oldest beluga here at the Vancouver Aquarium. It is also believed to be one of the oldest belugas in any facility on Earth. She's in her mid-40s. How about a round of applause for our whales and trainers? Despite the fact we don't often find belugas in our own backyard, it's very important to remember that no matter where you live, your lives and the lives of belugas are intimately connected. Now, beluga whales live up in the Arctic. Taking a look at Aurora's tail right in the very front here, you notice that it's actually quite small compared to her body size. Well, when we head out in the winter, things like our nose, our fingers, our toes, those parts will get cold first. Our extremities will chill. So by keeping those extremities smaller on a beluga whale, they're actually reducing the amount of surface area and therefore reducing the amount of heat that they lose to the surrounding environment. Now, don't be fooled, however. These are 4-meter-long animals. They have incredibly large bodies, so those very small appendages are also incredibly powerful, able to move these animals through the water. How about a round of applause for some beluga noises? They are often called the canary of the sea because of the huge range of calls that they make. Now, they use these in order to keep in contact and also to echolocate or find things by sound alone. They don't need to use their eyes when they're navigating. However, in the St.
Healthcare, and with our trusting relationships, we are able to better care for them using voluntary medical behaviors known as animal husbandry. For example, what Keela is doing for me right now is known as a ventral present, and this does allow me to take a good look at her body. It's also a very good demonstration of our trust because you will notice that Keela holds her breath in this position for me. Now, our relationships with the belugas is also what enables us to participate in
So big.
Probably trout. Because this is from the rivers and lakes. Oh, trout.
actually, isn't it? On up here is. So every 45 minutes. The middle lane of the bridge is the lane that changes all day long back and forth. And you see right down there the pair of lines here that greet us as we come off the bridge. All the highway coaches, they make this a mandatory part of their tour. To get rid of our beautiful hollow tree. So we called the mayor, we called the premier, we called the city of Vancouver, the newspaper, the TV station. They all did stories about it and put egg on the face of the politicians, because the Parks Board here in Vancouver is made up of retired politicians, right? And we told them if they cut down the hollow tree, they would not be re-elected. Well, and then they wouldn't get their index. The intersect stone sculpture has been used for thousands of years. Comes in many different shapes and forms. Always made out of stone though, so if you're going to buy one as a souvenir, try and get a stone one, not a plastic one. Below now on the right, two big silver gray buildings, a major college of art, Emily Carr, very famous First Nations native artist. Ocean Sprint still operates here, year-round Ocean Sprint. Oral community floating house over right here as well. You can't see it right now, but on the right, the clear bright sunny day, 50 miles away, we can see Mount Baker in Washington State. Next game is gonna be at the windshield here, the big silver geodesic dome here. That's Omnimax Theater and Science Row. It's also built for the World of there. It's open every day till 4 o'clock. Do take the tour of the garden. The whole garden itself came from China. I've taken the tour about a half dozen different times.
Entertainment days. Most of the entertainers who stayed in the city would either stay at Hotel Vancouver or Hotel Georgia. Now, if you're doing some shopping downtown,
right onto Marine Drive.
Hi. The bridge I'm about to cross. Yikes. Wobbly. That is a very wobbly bridge. Whoa. Oh my. And I was thinking, what? Very wobbly, this bridge. Oh. Oh my god, I'm just a little dizzy here, just looking down. But still very interesting. Gorgeous views. Oh, the bridge sort of teeters back and forth as you get. So this is the Capilano Suspension Bridge in Vancouver, British Columbia. I guess North Vancouver, I'm assuming, since we crossed the Lionsgate Bridge to get here.
Oui.
Zoom lại.
And back to the bridge. And one more trip across the bridge and then to the car, then off to the airport.
The height that it's scary, it's just the fact that it's like wobbly.
Why am I doing this? Because I can get fucking ticketed for this. Okay, I guess I'm going over the Lionsgate Bridge in Vancouver. wish I was walking over. Maybe I will walk over. Guess I'm heading into North Vancouver. Wow, I like how the city's sort of on the mountain or on the hill like that. And if you could see that in the screen. And you can see the mountains in the background.
In 3 another way to achieve better balance. Turn right on Cambie Street.
Oh, crap.
Courtesy of Transit Holidays, every weekday morning at 8:10 to caller 94. Good luck.
Continue 900 meters, then turn right on West Broadway. Keep left on Cambie Bridge. Continue 750 meters, then take ramp on right to Pacific Boulevard. East. In 350 meters, take ramp on right to Pacific Boulevard. East, then take ramp ahead. Take ramp on right to Pacific Boulevard. East, then take ramp ahead. Take ramp to Pacific Boulevard. Continue 350 meters to Edgewater Casino, on right. In 250 meters, arrive at Edgewater Casino, on right.
Oh, crap. No way.
Arriving at Edgewater Casino, on right.
This is my hotel right now. Well, for the last night. Well, back at the Vancouver airport. Vacation is now over. Officially, unfortunately. So here I am ready to take my bags in, check them in, and sit around for a couple hours waiting for my flight to leave back to Winnipeg. Goodbye, Vancouver. It was great getting to know you.
Thank you so much and enjoy your flight.